going to do something a little different here. I'm going to ask for help from all of you. So here's my situation. I understand how to plumb, all the drain lines and all that. The only thing I'm a little unclear on is the actual air vents, because you have to have air behind water. You have to have air vents. Okay, and I know most people will do like a main vent stack and then tie everything into that. So my question is, instead of doing like one main vent stack, say right here in the middle somewhere, and then running lines to that vent stack, would you not be able to just say this is the utility room? All these pink X's are marked as a utility or a place where a drain line is going to be. So we've got toilet, sink, dishwasher, sink, bathtub, toilet, sink. And it makes it kind of easy because they're all on the back side. But what's stopping a person from, say, running an air vent here, and then maybe running one over here a little closer to the toilet, and then running these over to that one? I hope everybody can understand that. Because I just don't see the difference in running a main stack up through into the attic or whatever, and then running long runs of PVC to that stack. What would be the difference between that and just running a stack on each end? And I'm not going to run my stacks through the roof. I don't want to, create more places where a leak could happen. So what I will do is run them. Let's say this right here is an outside wall, and you've got your roof right there. I will run my vent stack up the side of the house, and then have it end up underneath where the eave of the roof will cover it over, and it'll just be open underneath the eaves. But anyways, so that's my main question, and there's a couple other things. The back of this house, as you can see here, this is the ground line. The front of the house and the back of the house has a difference of 3 foot 2 inches. It's 3 foot 2 inches higher in the back than in the front. And where this line, the sewer line, the 4-inch line to the septic tank is going to run in, is approximately 6 feet from the back. So there's a good 2.5, in between 2.5 and 3 foot high to the floor right here. So if I run this pipe in, and this pipe is going to be buried 1 inch under the ground level at the house. It'll get deeper as it goes to the septic tank, but at the house it's only 1 inch underground, which I've been told is fine since it's not full of water all the time. So if I run this up underneath the house, it's going to be about 2.5 feet below the floor level. And I know that you're only supposed to have 1/4 inch per foot drop in the drain line, in the sewer line. So if I do like a 45-degree elbow, let's say there's, okay, this is the floor right here, this line right here. Okay, let's say there's like a toilet right there. And I run the line down through the floor. That line is going to vertically drop 2.5 feet to meet up with this line. Or if I elbow 45 degree a couple of times in this line right here and bring it up, that drop, going up 2.5 feet within a 4 foot range is going to be way too steep of a drop. Anyway, you can kind of see all my fixtures there. Septic tank's 40 feet from the house. It drops down 20 inches, which if you do your math, that's twice as much drop as what you're supposed to have in a drain line. But the house is actually downhill from the septic tank. The septic tank is actually uphill from the house. So by the time you go level line, you're already down 10 inches, and then you go down another 10 inches to make your 20 inches, and that's right at the quarter of an inch per foot. So that worked out almost perfectly. I don't know how I got that lucky, but it did. Let me get rid of some of this, and I'll come back and talk about it a little bit more. If we need to reference back to this, you can rewind the video and check it out and pause it and whatnot. Okay, so I'm going to try to stay out of the way as much as I can here. I'm in my son's room using the chalkboard. So anyways, so let's say that this line represents our floor in our house. Okay, and then so you'd have, over here is a toilet. And a sink. And then the next fixture, I believe, was the dishwasher. And then the kitchen sink. We'll just do it like that. Write KS. And then the next thing we had was, I believe, the bathtub. And then we had a toilet. And then we had another sink. Okay, now I believe that's all we had here for drain lines. Okay, so I'm hoping you can see all that. So we've got, a 4-inch line coming down, a 1.5-inch line coming down, and then probably over here we'll do a 1.5-inch line, and then probably just tie the dishwasher into that. And then we'll have a 2-inch line, 1.5-inch line, and then another 4-inch line. Okay, now our main sewer drain line would come in right here, and that's a 4-inch pipe. Now, like I was saying, the distance here is about 3 feet between the floor and the pipe, and the main pipe coming in and going to the septic tank. So my main thing is, okay, do I run this just basically along the ground, keeping my 1/4 inch per foot slope towards the septic tank, obviously, and then just run these straight down into like a like a sanitary tee, I guess, that would have a reducer, and they have like a swoop to them. That goes like that, kind of. Would I just run that into that with a reducer, with a reducing tee, and just let that stuff drop the whole, the 2.5 feet or 3? The same thing over here. I could kind of probably hook those into the toilet line and drop that straight down into another tee. Or I could bring them straight down into their own little tees, And then obviously the same thing over here. So then, would I, let's say I realize that might not be straight, but okay. Imagine, if you will. Let's see. Okay. Okay, imagine that. Okay, that's our roof. Okay. Now, say I bring my 3-inch or 2-inch or 3-inch air vent line straight up the outside of the side of the house, and then end it underneath where the roof hangs over the side, where rain and leaves and stuff won't get into it. Now, I've seen people do that instead of running them straight through the roofing material. So I know you can do it like that. So would I just run one in the middle, and then, so here, imagine, say right here would be that vent going up. Okay. Not connected into that pipe as of yet, but just, well, I mean, I don't know if you could or not just connect it to that pipe. So this is the problem I'm having. I don't know a whole lot about the air vent part of it. I can plumb all this kind of stuff, but the air vent part of it's got me a little confused. So, okay, so would we put one going up and then just tie, all these into it from the whole house? Or could we just put, maybe one here close to this toilet, within about 6 feet of the toilet? I've heard that you need to be within 10 feet of the toilet with a vent line. So let's say we put one, like right here. And then ignore this one. And then say we put one, right here. So then we'd have tie in the toilet to the vent, tie in with the sink to the vent, and then obviously, the shower, the toilet, and the sink tie into that vent stack, and then just bring the kitchen maybe over to this one or over to that one, whichever one's closer. Would that be a viable option? I don't really, so we have one, or, maybe I just do 3. One for the kitchen, one for the utility room, one for the bathroom. I mean, it really makes no difference to me what the back of the house looks like with these pipes running, like that. Or instead of having 3 of them stick up, what we could do, maybe, let me know, is they just come out of the house and then run over to this one. Maybe something like that. Or maybe I connect them all 3 together just like this on the underside of the house and just have the middle one come out. I know that you're supposed to have something to do with the air vent being above the level of water in the sinks and whatnot, but I mean, even if they flooded back, they would only come up to, like there in the main pipe. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it. My main concern, let me clear this again. Okay, now again, my main concern with this is, let's see, how do I illustrate this? Let's say, Okay, let's say that's our foundation. Okay? And the foundation continues, you know, down this way. And also down that way, you know. So we're looking in, say we're standing in the middle of the house looking at the inside of the side of the foundation. Okay, my block that brings the sewage lines in is about right there. Okay, so and then our floor level, let's say, is right here. That's our floor level. And then I'll have, you know, all this framed. And there's our floor. Okay. Now, so the toilet is going to be way up here. Our sewage line is going to come in through here. That was crazy. Okay, so that's our main 4-inch sewage line that goes to the septic tank. Okay, now, do I say 45 and then maybe another 45 to equal 90 degrees, because you don't want a real sharp turn, and then just come over to where it passes the drain pipe from the toilet, and then start to, you know, curve back with it, and then just drop the 4-inch toilet line, or 3-inch. I'll probably use 4-inch, but drop that down into a T like that. And then the same thing with all the other drain lines. Just let them drop vertically, you know, 2.5 or 3 feet. I know some people say that you know, you can, you know, the toilet line inside the walls for like a 2-story house, they drop straight down the entire length of a wall, which is like 8 feet. So, you know, I don't really think that it should be a problem to drop straight vertically 2.5 or 3 feet down into this line. The only thing I worry about is maybe creating some kind of a clog here from the speed. You know what I'm saying? The water has to travel in a manner that's slow enough to carry the solid waste with it. Let's say this is a toilet, you know. Okay, here's your toilet. Now your line comes down, let's say 2.5 or 3 feet, and then it would go into a Y, or not a Y, a T that's kind of made like that. Okay, and then your 4-inch line goes out to your septic tank. Now, if you had an extreme, let me get a different color, maybe orange. I'll use his whale chalk. Okay, maybe if you had too much of an angle, say like that, then the water is going to be traveling super fast. And they say, I don't really understand it, but they say that when the water travels way too fast like that, that the solid waste will get left behind. The water has to travel at such a speed, a gentle speed, that it carries everything, all the solid material and everything with it. You know, then obviously if you had it too slow, then it wouldn't have enough speed to carry the solid waste. So that's how I understand it anyway. But that's my main concern, is that, you know, this water is going to be traveling so fast and it's going to hit this in here and shoot that way that, you know, maybe, I don't know. But then again, the other commode on the other end would come down through that. But then what about that commode? You know, what if this is the end of the plumbing line? You know, that's just a solid cap. So then, well, obviously you wouldn't have that piece. It would just be, you know, a gentle sweeping 45. But then you're going way fast, then it hits this curve and just kind of shoots. And you're still traveling fast. So I don't understand how they can drop 8 feet and then into a sweeping 45. I don't know. Or a sweeping 90, I mean, not a 45. Or I guess some people use 2 45s. But anyways, I don't know. But then, if I had to take this same drawing right here, if instead of running the main sewage line, the 4-inch line that goes to the septic tank, along the ground, and then dropping those commodes and things into that pipe, if I had to come up with that 4-inch line and then carry the 4-inch line across the bottom of the floor joist, then right here there would be an extreme angle on that 4-inch pipe. Well, I mean, not even that small. I mean, it would be, you know, it would be like that with the 4-inch pipe. So let me get rid of this and maybe we'll talk about that. Okay, now let's say that's our floor. You know, and then we've got, you know, the foundation down here. Okay. So, if we do it the other way around, and we have, let's say, the toilet here. Okay. And then, let's say, our 4-inch pipe comes in, and we put 2 45s on it to make it a 90, to keep it, you know, to turn it from coming straight in to going that way. Okay. And then let's say this just comes down through the floor, maybe 6 inches. Okay. And then we put maybe a sweeping 45, and maybe, you know, a sweeping 45 on that. And then we hook those together. Or, you know, it would dump into like a sanitary tee, and then the pipe would continue off this way. But even that, see, the whole house would drain down into it, and when it got to this point, it would rush down it, because that's a 2.5 or 3 foot drop within 5 feet. So, you know, let's say this is 3 feet long. Okay, let's say, let's say 2 feet. So there's about 1 foot. There's about 2 feet. That's a pretty extreme slope for the water to rush down. It would be going really fast. And then it would hit this turn and be forced. Okay, so the camera cut me off there at the very end, but it was at the very end anyway, so I won't bother going back to remake it. I posed several questions throughout the video. One being, you know, how many vent stacks are required or would be a good idea. Could I just use one and tie them all into that one? And would it be a better idea to run the 4-inch sewer line across closer to the ground and let all the fixtures vertically drop into it? Or let the main 4-inch line drop almost vertically, you know, one time there at the very end and just, you know, have it up closer to the floor joists and let everything dump into them in a much shorter drop. But anyways, just review the video. You know, I appreciate everyone's time that chimes in to help with this. You know, once again, I'm not the master of all things. I'm just a guy trying to do something here, so I need a little bit of help here and there along the way. And that's really what I want to build with my channel is more of a community of back and forth, not just, you know, what video can I put out today to just entertain people. You know, I'm not so much into that. I want to hear feedback and from the other side. So that'll do it for this one. Chime in and help if you can.